Good afternoon. This is Dan Hilliard, Regional Editor for Kallanish. Today we're going to discuss the North American flat-rolled market and its pretty much astounding rise since the beginning of the year. So are we in a new normal, or is this a historic blip? We've been in a new normal pretty much since 2008, but is this the real new normal? Hot rolled pricing has shattered record after record so far this year. Pretty much every point since the 1200 short ton mark, a crash has been predicted by market sources, but we have not seen that yet. It's been a slow, almost incremental step up to around 1600, 1660 today. A lot of this has been put on the supply side, but we now see capability utilization back over 80%, and yet we're still hearing of supply shortages in the larger market. End users are grumbling, but not really loud enough to force mills to come down. And with contract season approaching, there's no immediate sense that prices are going to come down to meet those negotiation marks. Imports are increasing somewhat, but the price differential is just not high enough to overcome the massive lead times for import products because the rest of the world is elevated as well. So the big question on everyone's mind is, when will it end? It's flat out unlikely that the US market could carry $1,600 hot rolled forever. That being said, it's unclear exactly what will bring prices back down, or if there is a new normal being forged above the typical historic $600 per short ton normal floor. I will say it's unlikely that imports will lead the charge down due to both lead times and Buy America requirements. Change will likely have to come from end users. Auto construction projects being delayed due to lack of material, large projects unable to source the steel they need at the price points they need. But when? That's really anyone's guess. The next big inflection point for the market is likely to be the July 4th holiday, but I'm of the opinion that will likely bolster prices. If pricing has survived so far, I really wouldn't expect the summer slowdown to affect much, if it happens at all. The semiconductor shortage going on in the auto industry has had the effect of sort of pulling demand out over an extended time period rather than producing spot shortages as was initially feared. That has been propping up the hot roll price, and I would expect the same to come from the so-called summer slowdown. I would expect automakers to continue moving to sort of catch up from ground lost earlier in the year and continue to drag that demand out and drag prices out. Sort of a ditto for the construction season. It's only now starting in full swing, and a hefty amount of that demand is going to come from the $2 trillion in Buy America infrastructure projects. There are caveats for buying foreign steel if prices reach above a certain level, but I think with the Biden administration, you're going to see a large percentage remaining within the Buy America requirements or being done on a contract basis. So basically, it's possible that we could see pricing continue to ratchet up until well into the second half or even longer. If you'll remember from past webinars, a lot of folks predicted that pricing would start to come down in the second half. We're right there, poised on that cusp, and based on what I'm hearing in the market, nobody's really predicting a sudden fall anytime soon. One thing is absolutely for sure, mills will not voluntarily give up these pricing levels, not when they're hitting record earnings and alongside record earnings, record shipment levels. Pressure is going to have to come out from the outside. End users, imports. We're waiting on basically another black swan event to counter the string of black swan events that have been ongoing since the beginning of COVID-19. I can only guess what that might be, but I think that you're likely to see a push from the end use sector sooner rather than later. 1600 is a very harsh level to build things, build cars, and then pass that along to the end user. I think that if there is any kind of pressure, it will have to come from that side. So that's it. Short and sweet today. Thank you, and stay safe and sane out there.